How to work technology 101. Step 1, don't ask me because I don't know what I'm doing. What's up guys, it's Grace and I'm back for an update. I'm going to tell you where I am in the process, and then at the end of the video I'll do my FAQ. So let's start with my update. Today I did my psychological screening. Super easy. I just did a little face-to-face interview with the psychologist, and then I took a test, the MMRI I think it's called. It's a test that just tests for personality disorders, depression, anxiety, all that stuff. It was like 560 some questions. It was crazy, but super easy. True false questions, nothing to worry about. And the psychologist said after the interview, she said she thinks I would be a great candidate, so she's gonna pass that along to my agency. And then she said if I didn't hear anything by like 5 o'clock, then I can just assume that I'm good to go. And it's well past 5 o'clock and I haven't heard anything. So hopefully that means I am all set and checked off psychologically, and then I have my personal interview scheduled for next Monday, the 8th. I'm so excited. So after that, I will be done with phase 1 and I will get to move on to phase 2, the matching phase. The only speed bump that I'm running into right now is my BMI. No fun to talk about, but so pretty much when they called me to tell me that I was checked off medically by the doctor at the agency, they said my BMI is okay, but in case they find an intended parent family that wants to work with an IVF clinic who has a stricter rule about BMI, they want to see if I can get it any lower by the time I get matched. So hopefully I'll be able to do so. I'm going to be eating salads and chicken and water and all that good stuff for the next few weeks. So anybody who's around me, I'm so sorry if I'm irritable. I've had a couple people ask me how long has it taken me to get here. So just a little recap. I applied on June 30th. I got my follow-up phone call on July 5th, and I think that was just because I applied like right before the 4th of July weekend, so it's kind of crazy. Then I turned in all my paperwork the next day, July 6th, and then I was called about my medical clearance on July 24th, so it took a couple weeks for the paperwork to get over there. I scheduled my psychological screening and had that today, August 1st, and then I'm gonna have my personal interview on August 8th, and then hopefully I will be moving on to phase 2. So just kind of a timeline. It's been about a month or so for all of that. But that is all for my updates. That's where I'm at. I'm super excited, ready to move forward. So yeah, I'm gonna jump into the FAQ portion of this. I have my iPad right here to read all my questions off. So first of all, why am I doing this? I did a whole video talking about why. I'll put the link to that in the description below. But in a nutshell, kind of, my parents struggled with infertility, so that's really close to my heart. That's how I got here. I was adopted because of that. And also my experience with my first pregnancy wasn't very positive because I was in high school. I was young, dumb, I didn't know what was going on. So it's kind of like a do-over because I have baby fever super bad, but I don't want another child right now. So it's kind of like a win-win situation thing. I get to be pregnant, everybody's happy, somebody gets a baby, we're good to go. People ask me, are you doing it for the money? And like, you think I'm gonna do paperwork and appointments and shots and all this for money? I don't think so. That's way too much to do just for money. Next question, aren't I going to have a hard time giving the baby up? To me, I think about it as I'm not giving a baby up or away, I'm giving the baby back to their parents. It's never been my child to begin with, and I'm going to experience my pregnancy different than I would with a child that is my own. I'm not going to be talking to the baby and singing to the baby and bonding that way like I would with my own child. I mean, obviously I want to still talk to the baby, it's inside of me, I'm not a robot. I'm gonna get some kind of attachment, but you know, it's not my child. I'm giving the baby back. So no, I don't think I will struggle with that, hopefully. But again, I'll be raw and real and tell you guys how I'm feeling in the moment. The psychologist I talked to today mentioned that surrogates don't really go through the attachment type of thing in that way, but more like you've been checked on and texted and called and gone to appointments for months and months, and people are focused on you. You get all this attention, and then all of a sudden you have the baby and give it to the intended parents, and they go home. Your job is done and their job starts. So all that communication, all that attention just stops. So that's kind of what surrogates kind of struggle with the most, I think. Or she said that she thinks. So she suggested doing something like going on vacation, taking a little trip, maybe going to dinner or something to celebrate the end of the surrogacy process and the start of a new chapter in the surrogate's life. So to wrap it up, no, I don't think I'm going to struggle with attachment, but again, raw and real, I'm here to let you guys know what's going on with me. So if that's how I feel, that's how I feel. I'll let you guys know in the moment. Next question, what if they don't want the baby? Kind of interesting. I don't think, honestly, that that's going to happen. I mean, they've gone through so much already to try and have a child that they are willing to let a stranger carry their baby for them. So I don't think that all of a sudden they're gonna be like, nah, never mind, just kidding. Maybe tomorrow. Like, even if they do, it's written in the contract by this point that they are the legal parents. So it's not like all of a sudden it's my responsibility to raise the child. Ooh, here's an interesting one. So when I told somebody, they said to me, aren't you afraid that you're going to be judged as a single mom with a pregnant belly walking down the street? Well, I'm not sure if this is racial profiling or not, but I don't think when people see me walking down the street with my daughter in a pregnant belly that they're going to be like, oh my gosh, look at that crazy baby mama over there. She's having kids that she can't even take care of, doesn't have daddies for them. You know, I don't think that's where people's brains go to. And if it is, I mean, that's their problem. That's a problem within them. But I don't think I'm going to be judged in that way. And if I am, I guess it is what it is. I'm probably already judged as a single mom, but you know, I'm just doing this thing to help out a family, and that's what's important to me and what I am really concerned about. So if I'm judged, great. If not, awesome. What if they want to terminate or reduce the pregnancy? So this is also part of the contract that you write up with the parents. What this means is maybe, you know, they do some type of amniocentesis and they find that the baby is missing a chromosome, and you know, the parents aren't ready to raise a child with special needs, or, you know, the death rate is really high for like right when they're born. So they decide to terminate the pregnancy and try again. Or reduction, they put in maybe 2 embryos, both of them take, and the parents are like, whoa, we didn't want twins. Let's take one of them out of there. That's what reduction is. And without, I mean, it doesn't really reflect my view on abortion and termination, things like that. But personally, the way I feel about the situation is that it's the parents' choice. They're paying for this. They made the embryos. They are going through this process. I am just the oven. So, I mean, if that's what they choose, that's their choice. I feel they get to make that decision, and I am along for the ride. So if that's what they choose, then yes, I'm okay with it. What about my daughter, and how am I telling her? So to start off with, I am not talking about the child as a sibling. So all I've really said to her right now is, mommy's gonna have a baby in her tummy. That's like, pretty much that's it. She's 2, she's almost 3, but she still like doesn't really understand the whole concept of brother and sister, and that's how they get here, is baby in mommy's tummy, you know, stuff like that. So I mean, to her it's just like really cool, like, ooh, there's a baby in there, oh my gosh, like, you know. And obviously at the very beginning of the pregnancy you can't actually see that there's a baby in there, so it's gonna be a while until she really like sees something physically there. But again, I'm not going to talk about the child as like a sibling or anything like that, and if someone around us refers to it as that, then I'll correct them and make sure that she understands that this baby is not coming home with us. Another thing that the psychologist suggested is having a picture of the IPs, maybe on like the refrigerator or something, and constantly say to her, do you see them? Those are the parents of the baby that's in mommy's tummy. So the baby is gonna go home with them. And just constantly remind her and keep her aware that we don't get to keep this baby. And also the psychologist suggested having her come to the delivery room after I've given birth and to see the baby with the intended parents. It's kind of like closure for her, so she puts it together that the baby's no longer inside of me, it's with them, and it goes home with the intended parents. And lastly, I've read all kinds of good things about the book called The Kangaroo Pouch. I ordered that online and I'm going to be reading it to her when I start the whole process and everything. So it's just a children's book that really explains surrogacy in a way that children understand. So that is how I'm going to tell my daughter. Am I pregnant yet? Obviously, you can tell by the beginning of this video, no, I'm not pregnant yet, but we're getting there slowly but surely. Do they pay for the medical stuff? Yes, the intended parents are required to pay for all of the medical stuff that goes along with all of this, all the procedures, co-pays, all that stuff. They pay for life insurance. They could pay for a health insurance policy if my policy excludes surrogacy. So yeah, the intended parents pay for everything, which kind of brings me to my next and final question. Do surrogates get compensated? Yes, in the United States, surrogates are compensated for what they do. It varies with different agencies how much that is, and also if you're experienced, if you've done it before, and if you haven't. So you can check out websites. I'll put the link again to the agency that I'm working with if you're really interested in all the numbers. But yes, surrogates do get compensated. They get sometimes they do like monthly allowances for things like, you know, prenatal vitamins, stuff like that. They do housekeeping in case you get put on bed rest. They pay you back for lost wages that you may have had. And also my agency does a maternity clothes allowance, which is really, really cool. And that will really be helpful for me because I have to purchase maternity scrubs. And let me tell you, a pair of maternity scrub pants is like $40. It's ridiculous. So that will really be nice. Everything is taken care of by the intended parents. Gas for appointments, like seriously everything. So nothing's coming out of the surrogate's pocket, which is really cool. Again, like it's a cool benefit, but again, it's not a reason to do surrogacy. There's a lot more that goes into it than people think. So that wraps up my FAQ section of this video. Thanks for watching up until now. Hopefully, like I said, this will be my last video sitting here talking to you guys. Next, it'll be vlogs along the way. Maybe I'll take you to the gym with me or something. Probably not, because I'll look gross. That's all I have for you guys for this week. Thanks for stopping by. Check back next week for my next video, and I will see you then. Bye.